I should have brought my gavel. Please take your seats. We're going to start the meeting momentarily. No, it's fine. It seems fine, right? Yeah. Good evening. On behalf of the Board of Trustees of the New Canaan Library, I want to welcome you all to the 137th General Meeting. My name is Chris Labrise, and I am the President of the Board of Trustees of the Library, and I hereby call this meeting to order. With me this evening are several members of our Board of Trustees, some of which will address you later in the program, and also with us tonight is our Executive Director, Lisa Oldham. As our first order of business, Kate Kent, who is our secretary, is unable to be with us this evening. So the chair would like to appoint Dan Ward as acting secretary. Dan, will you come up and give the secretary's report, please?
You'll see on your agenda, and there are copies in the back of the room, an item to approve the minutes of the last annual meeting, which was held on July 8, 2013. They are in the back of the room. I hope some of you have read them. I hope many of you have read them because there are good things in there. So I request a motion to approve the minutes of the annual meeting of members of the New Canaan Library, Inc., held on July 9, 2013. I have a motion. Do I have a second? Is there any discussion? You have some discussion, Marty? Okay. All, hearing none, all in favor, please signify by raising their hands. Opposed? Motion carried.
This time I would like to call on our treasurer, Kaiser Sibley, who will give you the treasurer's report.
Good evening. My name is Kaiser Sibley, and I'm the board treasurer for the library. And I'm pleased to report our preliminary unaudited financial results for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2014, which is just 8 days ago. The total support and income reached approximately $2.9 million, and that's approximately 7% above budget. The annual appeal, fundraising events, and designated giving were better than budget and reflect increased fundraising efforts by both the trustees, the staff, and of course, the generosity of our donors. Total expenses for fiscal 14 were also over budget due to costs incurred for several specific projects undertaken throughout the year. For example, you might have noticed we have a new welcome desk upstairs. We have a new maker space, and we have an improvement to the teen area. The furniture has been ordered and should be here very shortly. All of these we were able to do thanks to private donations to the library. Regarding the property on the corner of South Avenue and Maple Street, which is now a park, the library spent approximately $48,000 to demolish the building and to landscape the property. That was paid out of the library capital account, not the operating account. We expect to report a small operating surplus for the fiscal year, and this is primarily due to the increased support and income combined with lower operating expenses. When our audit is complete, our policy requires that we transfer the surplus or a deficit, if any, to or from the capital account. And the audited financial statements will be on our website once the audit is complete, which will not be until the fall. I'm also pleased to report that the balance in our capital account is approximately $1.5 million, and the balance in our endowment account is $1.1 million, total $2.6 million. These funds are critical to the future of the library. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaisha. At this time, I would like to give you a brief report on the state of the library. The annual meeting gives us the opportunity for the board and the staff to upgrade members, update members on developments during the past year. So it's my pleasure to report today that the state of your library is very good and getting better. When the current Board of Trustees took the reins over last July, it set for itself 3 clear goals. First, provide all the support and encouragement necessary to assure that the new executive director had a successful first year. Second, continue our policy of openness as to the activities and finances of the library with our Town of New Canaan government partners. And thirdly, embark upon and complete a feasibility study for a major capital campaign in support of plans to build a new library building. With respect to these goals, we are pleased to report that they were all completed successfully. Specifically, our executive director took office on July 1st, 2013, with instructions from the board to assess the state of the library and make all necessary changes she deemed advisable with the appropriate guidance and consent from the Board of Trustees. Lisa will discuss the many initiatives and changes that she instituted over the past year in her remarks that will come up next in the program. But suffice it to say that in the opinion of the Board of Trustees, Lisa's performance in the past year has exceeded our expectations. The Board of Trustees wishes to thank Lisa for her outstanding leadership and guidance this past year. We continue our collaboration with the Town of New Canaan governmental bodies with whom we must cooperate in order to deliver the programs and services town residents expect from us. Specifically, our dialogue with the Board of Finance, the Town Council, and the Board of Selectmen has been marked by transparency and candor. The tangible results of this policy led to a 5% increase in our annual grant for the current fiscal year. This must be viewed as an accomplishment in light of the tight budgetary environment currently facing the town, and perhaps more importantly, by the fact that the library's budget over the prior 2 years had not been increased. We owe this success to several presentations to the town government explaining our financial structure along with the long-term goals in a clear and consistent manner. We look forward to continuing to enhance our relationship with the Town of New Canaan government in the future as we build a stronger private-public partnership. As is well known, our buildings are old and getting older. Valiant efforts to keep the buildings in operational shape are a constant struggle. That is why for several years the Board of Trustees has investigated various aspects of building a new library on our current site here in the center of town. Last year it became clear that the key element missing in our analysis was an assessment of how much money could be raised from the public in a capital campaign for the purpose of erecting a new building. The board hired a well-known consulting firm, CCS Consulting, to conduct a study that would identify how much money could reasonably be raised from town residents for this purpose. Working closely with a dedicated group of trustees and volunteers, CCS conducted scores of interviews with various constituent groups around town over a period of several months. Last month, CCS presented the final report to the board. The board is in the process of assessing the next steps. Finally, I just want to say a word about our annual appeal. The annual appeal, as you know, raises funds that both cover the capital expenditures of our facilities, but also subsidizes the town grant to provide programs and services. Fully 25% of our total annual funding is raised from private donations, including 100% of the cost of maintaining our buildings and grounds. We have been quite successful in the past year, again through the efforts of dedicated trustees and volunteers, in raising the level of the annual appeal, and supplementing this effort with very successful fundraising events such as the Literary Lunch and the Books, Blues, and Barbecues Block Party. We thank you for your generosity this past year in support of the library, and we ask that you continue to include us in your charitable plans. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our Executive Director, Lisa Oldham.
Hi, and good evening, everyone. As you all know, I'm Lisa Oldham. I last spoke at this event last year, and I had been here in the country and in the library for a week at that time. So I didn't talk a lot about this library. I talked about libraries in general at that stage. In the year that's gone since then, I have come to know the incredibly talented staff who are capably running this library every day, as well as the many people in our community who use the library on a regular basis. Halfway through the year, my family joined me, and we now make our home here in Fairfield County. For the first part of my talk, I thought I would just give a recap of the year that's gone, and boy, have we accomplished a lot. It's been a phenomenal year. We've been focused particularly on collections, spaces, services, people, programs, and experiences. Our collections. Our wonderful collection manager has led her team to achieve great results in both our print and digital collections. An extensive exercise in weeding and a concurrent cleaning of our database results in our print collections and corresponding catalog being in excellent condition, enabling ease of use for all of our members. At the same time, our collections team has continued to grow both the number of formats and the number of items available to you all digitally. And you in the community have responded by increasing your digital borrowing by 34%. We recently added streaming media to our offer, and it seems you like that too, because the response has been tremendous. We will soon launch a capital campaign in the year ahead to fund the construction of a new library. But in the meantime, we will continue to inhabit this structure for some time yet. We have made a number of changes, therefore, to the public spaces of the building to improve the comfort and utility for our members. We are revamping the teen area thanks to a very generous donor, and we will continue to look for more and better ways to make the most of our existing spaces to ensure that our community can make the best use of the library given the existing constraints. Earlier this year, we were fortunate to receive a generous grant to construct our new one-stop service and information desk in preparation for our whole staff reorganization, now completed. We have aligned our talented staff to the many service goals we've established, and will be working hard in the year ahead to continue to develop innovative services, programs, classes, and experiences for the New Canaan community that will inspire and add value to all of our members' lives. Among the changes we've initiated, I'm particularly pleased to announce that we now have a dedicated reader's advisor, a community engagement librarian, and a customer services specialist, as well as a growing digital services team. We also added a full-time teen librarian to our staff late last year and have been improving our services and learning opportunities for this very important segment of our community. We have been able to add these important staff members by reorganizing our teams, shifting people from transactional roles towards more transformational and interactive functions. Programming. Our programming lineup has been spectacular this year. And while there are too many to mention them all, some of the highlights for me were Therese Fowler, our literary luncheon speaker and author of Z, a novel of Zelda Fitzgerald. Henry Urbach, the director of the Glass House, who provided us with an exceptional talk about the Glass House and Philip Johnson. David Jaffe, a local businessman who shared his career-spanning experiences in fashion and retail world, providing fabulous insights into leadership and the growth of a small family business into a $5 billion a year corporate. Helen Evans provided us with a fascinating look at Byzantine art and the collections from the Metropolitan, while the incomparable Reza Aslan delivered this year's UN lecture. We've had a wonderful lineup of art exhibits in our gallery space and finished the year off, or started this new year, with an exhibit by local artist Ed Eberman. Thank you to his daughter, whose collection is being displayed upstairs at the moment. New this year, we organized New Canaan's inaugural One Book New Canaan event, during which thousands of residents of New Canaan read Nathaniel Philbrook's History of the Whale Ship Essex, In the Heart of the Sea. The response to this town-wide read was fabulous, including 600 people attending the talk by Mr. Philbrook. I'm delighted with the level of enthusiasm, and we plan to organize another town-wide read in the year ahead. Another first this year has been the development of our Maker Lab. We started small, with one 3D printer and its computer, thanks to a generous gift from another anonymous donor, as well as some repurposed tables and chairs. Now, thanks to a grant from the New Canaan Community Foundation, we're about to grow our Maker Lab with another 3D printer, a set of Arduinos and Raspberry Pis, and some fit-for-purpose furniture and fittings. We will continue to grow our range of learning opportunities and experiences for our members in and connected to the Maker Lab. Last September, we recruited via our Facebook page some volunteers to run our book sale. Thanks to the talent of Jerry and Karen, who came to our aid, and the hundreds of hours of time donated by these inspirational leaders and the army of volunteers who help every day and at the book sales to help us bring in important revenue for the library. Looking to the year ahead, New Canaan Library aspires to enrich our town's life through lifelong learning, through experiences and the exchange of ideas. We aim to reflect and lead the intellectual and cultural life of town through careful curation of our print and digital collections, making available stimulating and relevant content in any format. We endeavor to provide learning experiences for everyone through the widest variety of formats, topics, and areas of interest, continuously growing and evolving our range of offers to satisfy the curiosity and aspirational goals of all our members. The author Caitlin Moran calls libraries cathedrals of the mind, hospitals of the soul, and theme parks of the imagination. My goal for every experience in this library, whether on-site, online, or on the telephone, is that it is positive and exceptional. Whether you view us as a cultural center, a community hub, an idea incubator, or something else, I want your experience here to be excellent. We will continue to curate collections to feed your mind, create opportunities and experiences for learning through lectures, classes, hands-on projects, to connect you to the information you desire, to facilitate and connect you to texts, to speakers, and ideas that inspire and sustain you. We look to a future where the library serves as the town's platform for learning and exchange of ideas, where our members participate, not just consuming but also creating new ideas. We are exploring ways that we can partner with local experts in any field to facilitate new learning in the library. We are actively seeking opportunities to partner with other organizations in New Canaan and the surrounding area to connect people and ideas around an ever-widening range of topics. Our building. As Chris mentioned, we recently completed a feasibility study to investigate the level of support we're likely to have for funding a new building. The results were very pleasing, and we now plan to launch a capital campaign. Our library is a symbol of our aspirations as a community. Whatever your aspirations on a personal level, we aim to help you achieve them through our collections and our services. On another level, the library is a symbol for our collective aspirations as one town. The library building acts as a symbol of who we are and what we hope to be. Our new building will be funded by community giving and will reflect our community's aspirations. Thank you all for coming out tonight, for your interest in and enthusiasm for our library, and for your continuing support of our wonderful team, our services, our spaces, and our wonderful collections. Our library is for all of us. It reflects who we are and where we are headed. Thank you.
Lisa, thank you very much for those remarks. I would now like to ask Dan Ward to return to the podium to lead us for the election of trustees.
The Governance Committee is responsible, among other things, for nominating persons to serve on the Board of Trustees. In your program, you will see several people listed. This is a two-part motion. Let me explain. Three of the people on that list, Catherine T. Burt, Maya Fry, and Kevin R. Seth, were elected as provided in the bylaws by the Board of Trustees to fill existing vacancies on the board during the course of the last year. Bylaws also provide that that election must be ratified at the annual meeting of the members of the library. So that's part A. Part B is to elect people to the Board of Trustees, and in this particular case, Alan Donaldson and Alicia L. Wyckoff, we are nominating them to serve a second term on the Board of Trustees. The bylaws provide that people may serve 2 3-year terms on the Board of Trustees. They have completed their first term, and so the time has come to nominate and hopefully elect these two individuals to serve a second term on the Board of Trustees. Do I have a nomination? Move. Motion. Sorry. Is there a second? Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please raise their hands. Any opposed? Motion is carried.
Dan, thank you for that. And to our newly elected and re-elected trustees, congratulations and thank you for joining us on the board. Now, our last order of business this evening is both a joy and a sadness in the sense that we get to celebrate, but then also say goodbye to some retiring trustees. We are really truly blessed at the New Canaan Library to have so many dedicated volunteers, as we discussed in Lisa's piece and I mentioned in my piece earlier, but none more so than the trustees who put in incredible amounts of time and energy to help govern and steer the library. This year, 4 trustees will be retiring. Jim Duffy has been on the board since January of 2010. He served as our treasurer for 3 years and helped guide us along a road to fiscal soundness. His wisdom will be missed. Laura Einstein has been on the board since June 2009. She served as our president during 2011-2012 fiscal year, during which time she guided us through the development of our strategic plan. We will miss her enthusiasm. Kirby Haff has been on the board since August 2011. Kirby helped give voice to the commuter population. We will miss his common sense. Kate Ken has been on the board since November 2009. She served as vice president in fiscal year 2012 and 2013 and as secretary during this past year. She has been an energetic fundraiser and one of the most indefatigable volunteers that we have. We will miss her vision and her counsel. We thank these men and women for their gifts of time, wisdom, and treasure to the improvement of the library. Thank you all for your service. Now, at this time, we're going to adjourn the meeting. Lisa and I will stay around after the meeting to answer any questions that you may have. So may I have a motion to adjourn? So moved. Second? Seconded. All those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you. The meeting is officially over.